yeah, playing ATS today for about an hour. So, unfortunately, it respawned me at a safe place, which is all the way in Los Angeles, and we were trying to do some Idaho runs. Let me see if I can quick travel anywhere. Let's quick travel. Almost $2,000. That's okay. All right. I was also gonna make some coffee for myself this morning, but somebody was in the kitchen when I went to go down to make it. So I'll probably I'll probably end up going to make some coffee because I kind of have a headache, and caffeine really helps with headaches. Also, maybe TMI, but for all my girlies out there, my Shark Week started today, and my cramps have been furious. So, it's fine. Okay. Where are we gonna get a job? There's a bunch of places over here. Let's go to Home Store. I think we might do a few shorter runs, just around Idaho. Because I know this is what we wanted to do last time, but we had to get to Idaho. And now that I know that I can technically quick travel everywhere, but I don't know why I don't know why it always respawns me at my garage in Los Angeles. It's like, sometimes it's like synchronization was messed up or something along those lines. So it's like any active deliveries were canceled with no penalty, and your truck has been reset to a safe place. And I'm just like, okay, but why? I didn't close the game abnormally. Idaho with the yummy potatoes, exactly. But we're here now. I spent $2,000 to just teleport into Idaho. Because I think this is one of the states where I have the least amount of stuff discovered. So clean. Just a heads up, Doug did say he wanted to do Minecraft tonight, so I did put that in the schedule as evening stream. Not sure exactly what time. It may be after we make dinner. Maybe a little bit before, I don't know. I have to tell him that we can't stay up playing Minecraft all night though. Because I have to study still. So I did finish chapter 14, and I did all of chapter 15. So today, technically on my schedule, I only have to do chapter 16, and I think the slide deck that I'm using for chapter 16 is only like 50 slides, which I can do in a half hour, which is good, but I do need to do it, and I'm very behind on flashcards. Here, let me update you real quick. These are all the flashcards I have done. This is chapter 1 through 7. And then these are the flashcards that I have all labeled, but they're blank. They're just labeled with the topics that I need to fill in. These are all the flashcards of chapters 8 through 14? Yeah, chapter 8 through 14. I'm making very good progress. 15 I still have to make my flashcards for, and 16 I have to do today. But I'm only on 1 through 7 on my other flashcards. And don't worry, it looks like a lot of flashcards. It's not. There is a lot of flashcards there, but I'm using them as notes. So I don't have to scroll. I literally am just, they're literally like note cards. They're not just flashcards with only vocab and like to flip through and get them memorized really fast. Like, these are all of my notes that are important. At the end of every slide deck I do, there's a, you should now be able to do this. That's what all these flashcards are. So it's like comparing and contrasting. How does this work? How does this work? It's pretty much review cards instead of strictly vocab. They really put this big thing right around the corner, didn't they? They sure did. But anywho, I'm still working through it. I'm doing chapter 16 today, and I only have to get through chapter 21. So, and 21's even an if. On the Reddit post I made, they said stop around chapter 20-ish. They're like, it's not inclusive of this, but I think that bleeds a little bit into chapter 21. And a couple of the syllabuses said that they did chapter 21, so I'm like, I'll just do chapter 21. It'll probably only take me maybe a full hour of my time, flashcards included. So it's just like, I'll just do it, especially if I have the time. I might as well do it and be a little over-prepared rather than be under-prepared and there be like 5 questions on it and I don't even know, you know? Yeah, I hope everyone's been having a good morning. I got much better sleep last night. Doug, of course, woke up at 8:30. I didn't want to get up, so I slept till 10. It wasn't 11, though, and I didn't feel tired when I woke up. It was good, but I still do want to make some coffee. But again, I couldn't because my housemates were in the kitchen. And using the sink, and probably cooking, and doing all of the things. Which isn't their fault. I mean, it's their kitchen, too. But I don't feel comfortable even going in there to start a pot of coffee while somebody else is in there, because our kitchen's just so small. I can't wait to move and not have to worry about, like that's gonna be my kitchen. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to worry about anyone being in the kitchen at the same time as me, besides Doug, but I don't care if Doug's in the kitchen at the same time as me. Because, you know, again, I'm comfortable with Doug. Not necessarily with my housemates, but it's fine. Let's look at when they're expecting this delivery. Whoop. 21 hours. Plenty of time. Because I'm going to have to stop at a rest stop during this as well. Bro, this car is on my butt. Back off. Oh yeah, I also wanted to look at maybe buying a new truck. I love my Big Mac. But this is like lower middle of the road engine capacity. So there's a lot better engines in other trucks that I can get. So, what the heck? What does this semi think he's doing? He just started going. I was clearly here. Also, heads up, I know it's only Thursday, I'll probably say this again tomorrow, and you'll see it on my stream schedule when it comes out. I don't think I'll be streaming on Monday, unless we do a night stream, but, I am going home to see my mom on Sunday. We're gonna go to the casino and stuff, because, she wanted to be the one to take me to the casino when I turned 21, but she's been super busy. But we're gonna do that on Sunday. Obviously, Doug isn't gonna come because he can't go, first of all. And second, Monday morning, I have, dentist and eye doctor appointments. Not like early, but I think my eye doctor is at 9 a.m. and my dentist is at 11 a.m. And my mom lives 2.5 hours away. Ew, dentists scare me. They don't really scare me. My dentist has been my dentist since I was super little. And then we switched dentists because something with insurance. You know what? I'm gonna stop at this rest stop. And then we went back. And actually, the guy's daughter went to the same university that I am at. She went to Ohio State as well. And she went to the College of Dentistry, so she actually does my teeth, and she knows my family and stuff. So it's not really too weird. I had braces for 5 years and hate dentists. Well, you have a reason to hate your dentist. I don't really. Yeah, but I have that on Monday, so, and I live 2.5 hours away from where I currently live. Like, that's where my mom lives, and that's where my appointments are. My appointments are in my hometown. I will be switching that. I think this is going to be my last set of appointments at home, just because it's no longer feasible. This has been happening for the last year or two since I pretty much moved to college, but it's no longer feasible for me to drive 2.5 hours home to go to the dentist. The eye doctor is only once a year. The dentist is every 6 months. So it is no longer feasible. I literally had an appointment last year where I had a dentist appointment in the middle of the day or not in the middle of the day, the middle of the week at like 8 in the morning, 8 a.m. I had my appointment, and it was a Monday, so I had to wake up at like 5 in the morning here just to drive home. I could have gone home the day before, but none of my family was going to be home, so I was like, I don't want to stay at my parents' house by myself. Like, nobody was going to be home. My mom was going to be on a trip. I'd have to figure out my own dinner and everything. So, like, I was like, I think I'll pass. So I unfortunately woke up at 5 in the morning, drove 2.5 hours home, had my 30-minute dentist appointment, and then drove 2.5 hours back here. That was a very long day. It's funny because I was home by like 11 or 12 or something like that, but I had still already driven five hours that day, and it was 11 in the morning. And I was like, great. It is a lot of driving. And my mom was like, because my initial 6-month dentist appointment was over spring break, and Doug and I were busy for spring break, and I was like, Mom, I can't make it to that dentist appointment. And she's like, why? It's not like you're doing anything on your spring break anyways. I'm like, Mom, I don't want to drive 5-hour round trip to go to the freaking dentist when it's my spring break. I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not doing it. So this is gonna be, I think, my last set of appointments there. Fortunately, I have people here to, like, I have to double check if they take my insurance, but like Doug's, but like our friend Josh, who's been in the stream before, his dad runs an eye clinic in their hometown, which is only a half-hour away. We go there all the time. Not to his dad's dentist office, but to their hometown. We go there at least probably once a week, I'd say. Well, we have to go once a week. We get our HelloFresh delivered there. It's at least once a week that we go there. So that's like not even out of the way. Really. I just have to see if they take my insurance, but then I can go there and I can go to the same place that Douglas's dentist is as well. I just have to double check that they take my insurance. It's as easy as that, but like, I wanted my mom to help me with it because I didn't want to make a mistake. But my mom's like, no, I'm not going to help her with that. And I'm just like, okay. And if I do something wrong, it's on you. My mom never helps me with appointment things. It's so frustrating. Like, thanks, okay, I guess. Yeah, when when my mom and I didn't necessarily get along the best, I was a senior in high school, freshman in college, roughly. We were having some rough patches. We're pretty fine now, but I didn't want to move home when it was just finishing. I was finishing my freshman year. Was it my freshman year? Yeah, so it was when my freshman year was over. I went back to school in the fall for my sophomore year, but my spring sophomore year, all of my classes were online. Like, I lived in the dorms fall sophomore year. And that's when I met Doug. And then sophomore year spring is when I had all my classes online. Like, they were fully online. That's just how my schedule worked out. And so I was going to move home to save money. Like, I didn't need to spend the money on room and board, which is like an extra 10 grand. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. And I did not want to move home. So I was like, Mom and I already don't get along. I don't want to be home and try to do school. And it was quite interesting because I started looking for like an apartment or something to live in for a while until the next fall when I could actually, sign a lease. And I found a place that I really liked, but it was kind of high in my budget. Like, if I had lived there, I probably would have been screwed now with money. But my mom was like, oh, that's so stupid. Like, don't do that. Why don't you just move home? And I'm like, Mom, what do you not understand? That I don't want to because I don't want to fight every day. Like, I don't want to do that. I think my sisters literally told her, they're like, Mom, if you don't help her with this, then she's going to make a wrong decision about it. Or she's going to mess something up. And she's going to be even more upset than she was before. Like, if you don't help her, she's never going to ask you to help with anything ever again. And so she really didn't help me, I guess. My siblings more so helped me make the decision that instead of living with my mom for that semester, I'll live with my dad, which I did. I did end up going and living with my dad for a couple months. That's also when I lived at my dad's, every weekend, Doug and I would, like, rotate who visited. So, like, one weekend I'd drive 2.5 hours just for the weekend to visit Douglas, and then the next weekend Doug would come visit me at my dad's drive up 2.5 hours to come visit. It was interesting, but it was every weekend. And then eventually that lasted only for like 2 months. I think it's like January, February, and then March came around, and my dad was like, and my dad and my stepmom were like, why are you guys doing this? Like, just live together. Like, and I felt bad because I never got the chance to, like, live with my dad when I was younger. I was kind of a hellion when I was little because my parents divorced. It wasn't bad for me, I guess, but, divorce parent toxicity. You know, so I was kind of a hellion when I went to my dad's house when I was little. Like, I couldn't sleep very well. All I wanted to do was go back to my mom's house. And eventually I had an age where I was like, oh, shoot, I like being at my dad's. I have a little bit of freedom. But, so I never got the opportunity to, like, live there for longer than, I think my parents did 2 weeks in the summer. Like, my dad could have us. My schedule to visit my dad was every other weekend, every other Monday. So, like, if I was there on the weekend, if I was at my dad's on the weekend, I wouldn't go Monday. But if I was at my mom's the weekend, I would go Monday. And then every Wednesday night from 4:30 to 8:30. Mondays was from 4:30 to 8:30, and weekends were Friday at 6 to Sunday at 6. So, like, I still got to see him and everything, but I never got to, like, live there full time, you know? Except for the 2 weeks, which those stopped because my dad had to work. Like, he couldn't take 2 weeks off at a time, and he didn't want me to be home alone, which I fully understand. So, that was a little interesting. But, I just totally brain farted about what we were talking about. That's very cool. It's like when I self-consciously think that I'm thinking about something and talking about something that I totally forgot what I'm talking about. But I gotcha. So I felt so guilty, like, only staying at my dad's for a month or two. Like, I felt so bad because I was like, no, like, you guys are so excited for me to actually live here for once. Brain lag, yeah. You guys are so actually excited for me to live here for once. And I don't want to cut that short, like I'm supposed to be here for the semester, but eventually my dad and my stepmom were like, what are you guys doing? Just stop. If it's okay with his parents, like they've already said it is, just save money. Save the gas money of you guys driving every weekend. Just go live there. And I'm like, are you guys sure? I felt so bad. But then in like March or something, I moved in with Doug and his parents. And then, because I had to move there in the summer anyways. That was already worked out that I was going to live with them in the summer because I had my internship in Columbus. And obviously there's not many places that give like a 3-month lease that were in my budget. Not even a 3-month lease, like just the short leases were not a thing. At least in my budget again. Because I'm trying, all my money is being saved like college money. So I can't just go around spending extra money on a place, especially if I was going to be in a lease for over a year. Or a year. I didn't want to live there because we already had plans for the fall. Like, we had already signed our lease to live somewhere, or to live where we are now. We had already signed that lease in, like, freaking January to live here and move in August. So I couldn't double lease. I was already going to be living here. Oh, I understand that so well. Parents are buttholes. Yes. No, I think my parents have definitely grown a lot. I think my dad's pretty much the same, but he's always been pretty mellow. But my mom is definitely relaxed about a lot of things. She definitely has her moments, but who doesn't? I have my moments. It's Shark Week right now. I was telling Doug last night, I was like, just be prepared. I've already had some light switch moods this week, so, like, just be prepared. He's like, you're being so mean. And I'm like, I'm sorry. During dinner. Like, I gave, like, a spat of attitude, and I didn't mean to. But, I'm like, I'm sorry. And then last night when we were going to bed, I was like, Shark Week starts tomorrow. So he's like, yay. And I'm not ready for you to be mean. And I'm like, no. I'm usually not, like, mean, but I do feel like I have more of an attitude. I get annoyed way easier than normal. You know, mood swings. I'm actually really surprised I didn't have my, I didn't cry when I spilled my coffee yesterday. I'm very surprised. I always have my moments. I'm a bully. I feel like, honestly, me too. Makes me feel bad, because back to me, Mom. Mom, I love you, by the way. I don't think you're here, but I just thought I'd put that into the universe. I always say that I got my guilt tripping from her. Like, I'm a professional guilt tripper. And I definitely got it from her. So, like, bruh. It's fine. It literally didn't affect me at all. Those cars are fine. But I catch myself doing it to Doug sometimes. I've gotten way better about it, but I still have my really, really bad moments of guilt tripping him, and I'm just like, no, I didn't mean it. Hey, yo, there's a cop. I'm about to get a fine. Oh, wait, I have to get off here. I'm not speeding. I swear. I do feel like, I don't know, like, common sense is always something that makes me so annoyed. It's like, how do you not get that, bruh? Hey, yo, I didn't get fined for that one. But I always get, like, increasingly annoyed if something happens and it's just like, who the heck? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then it, like, makes me livid. Like, it just grows. Like, the other day, we had our cast iron sitting on the stove. That was a whole thing, but it's better now. People don't touch our cast iron anymore, thank gosh, because that was making me increasingly annoyed. But, we had a peeler on the counter, I guess, because sometimes when Doug, like, peels our veggies for when we make dinner, he'll put the peeler on the counter next to, our drying rack, so, like, it's not even really in the way. Our peeler's, like, this big, and it's this skinny. Like, it's not really something that would be in the way. And instead of them putting it in the sink and being like, oh, is this your guys's? They put it in our gross cast iron. So not only did I now have to extra clean that, but there was freaking stuff from the cast iron all over it. Like, it was just peeling some carrots that we used it for. And I'm just like, what in your right mind made you think that that makes sense to do? Or, like, last night we had a couple pans on the stove. I should have cleaned them up. Yes, I know. But instead of our housemates sending a message and being like, hey, I want to use the stove. Can one of you guys, is this from your guys' dinner? Can you come and clean it? And I would have been like, ah, oh, yes. Doug is literally in the living room. I'm just upstairs. I wasn't doing anything. I'm pretty sure I was just watching YouTube. They put, so our pans to make dinner have oil on them, right? They have oil. They put our one oiled pan in the other oiled pan. So now one pan has oil on top of it and coating the bottom of it because they put it in there. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Both of my parents taught me how to guilt trip and manipulate, and it's really bad. Yeah. No, I 100% understand that. I'm very bad at cleaning up pans after cooking, but if you ask, I'll do it. Yeah, like, I don't have any problem asking somebody if something's in my way. Hey, can you move this? We're trying to do stuff. And they'll be like, oh, shoot, yeah, okay. But they will not ask us to move stuff. Instead, they make it a bigger mess for us. And I'm just like, great. Like, in our cast iron again, somebody put it away under our oven, which we only put metal pans down there because, like, it's technically a heating thing. Like, it's not technically storage. So we put that stuff, the metal pans in there. Somebody put our cast iron in there and then put a pan in our cast iron. Our freshly greased, clean cast iron, they put a pan in. And I was like, are you kidding me? You're kidding me, right? Now I have to clean this pan because it has freaking grease all over the bottom of it because you decided to put it in our cast iron. Like, why do you guys not have common sense? Maybe you intimidate them? Well, I'm pretty sure one of my housemates, I got in a massive argument with Joey months ago. But he's like, well, Allie always sends passive-aggressive texts. So he's like, I don't ask you anymore because you're always passive-aggressive about it. And I'm like, well, I didn't think I needed to tell you common sense things. That's what we were always arguing about. Like, him leaving the toilet seat up in our bathroom. Doug and I's bathroom. He'd use it. It's on the first floor. I get it. But he would always leave the toilet seat up. And I'm like, it's not your bathroom. There's a female here that's not part of your family. Leave your bathroom how you left it. There was that. There was, again, like, moving our stuff out of the way of them without asking us and then not telling us where they put it. So we'd have to go on a wild manhunt to find half of our shit. Like, I didn't think it was common sense not to touch other people's stuff, but here we are. Put the toilet seat down, you nasty pig. Yeah, he doesn't use it anymore because I got pissed at him. I literally had to tell him for, like, freaking... It was over a week that I had to tell him, and it was every day. Even sometimes a little over a week that I had to tell him to not do it. And then finally I freaking blew up on him. And then he stopped using our bathroom, and I'm like, thank freaking gosh, because I can't do this. I literally can't do this. I don't know what to do. I love real talk about roommate trauma. It's so interesting. Doug's mom even offered, like, because every time we go over, we tell them everything that's been recently happening. Because they're like, oh, how's everything? How's the roommate situation? We're just like, this is happening, this is happening. She even offered, because a couple of months ago, I think, we were still having some issues. And she even offered, she's like, do you want me to, like, schedule a meeting? I can come over with you guys, and we can actually sit down and talk about things. And I'm like, I would really, like, that's such a nice offer. But if they're not listening to the people they live with, they're not going to listen to you either. Like, if they don't see what they're doing is a problem, then they're not going to change it. Like, that's just how it is. I got nothing. That was a good run. A talk like that would make me so anxious. Well, that too, because I'm like, clearly you know that I have a problem. Well, like, I don't know. Like, if something, my biggest thing is just like, if there's something in your way or you don't like how something looks because you think it's messy, but it's somebody else's stuff. Like, Doug and I are a little messy in the kitchen. I'll be honest with you. That's the thing. Or not the kitchen, the living room. That's because nobody else uses it. Doug and I are the only ones that use it, so we kind of use it to store extra stuff. But if somebody would say, hey, this bothers me, let me clean it up, or can you guys clean this up? I'd be like, oh, absolutely. I didn't know it was bothering you that much, but nobody communicates. Nobody. And that's more frustrating, because I'm like, bruh. One of my housemates even, they even said when we moved in, because they had an initial problem, and they were like, oh yeah, I just want to get it out there because I don't want to argue. Like, I don't want to argue. I don't want it to become something bigger and then us get into a massive fight about it. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. And now he doesn't talk at all. And I'm like, I thought you are the one that said that you wanted to communicate before things got bad, and now you're just passive aggressively doing stuff. You're passive aggressively moving our cast iron around, turning our AC down without telling anybody. Like, like, come on. Like, if you think it's too hot, like, his room is really hot. He lives on the top floor. Like, I get that. Our room is hot, and we live on the second floor. Our circulation in this house, god awful. But he also thought his windows didn't open. His windows definitely open. I've watched them be open before. Does he have a fan? I don't think so. He doesn't even have a fan. But he decided to come downstairs and turn our AC down like 3 or 4 degrees than what it usually is. Didn't tell anybody, even though we all pay for it. And I was just like, okay. That's it. If it happens again, I'm gonna say something, because we all pay for this. So it, like, I don't want to pay an extra $50 a freaking month because you won't buy a thing or buy a fan or open your windows. Like, sorry about it. It's not happening. It doesn't help that they're men and men suck at communicating or just being decent people half the time. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Some men are great at communicating, at least specific things, but I thought, like, maybe they'd grow. Like, I think one of the things is that both of our housemates, even Douglas, never lived outside of their parents' house before. Ever. Oh, except our one roommate. He did live in dorms for, I think, 1 semester, or 1 year. 1 school year, so August to May. He lived in dorms away from home. Granted, half hour away from home, but every summer they'd move home. I haven't full-time lived at a house, or at my parents' house, since I was a freshman at college. I went home the first summer and I worked like 50, that's the season I worked 50 or 60 hours a week at work. So I was at work more than I was home. And then the school year after that, I lived with my dad for, I guess, 2 months, but I wouldn't consider that really long enough. And then I moved in with Doug's parents, which still wasn't my own place. So, like, I didn't feel comfortable, grabbing food and stuff like that. I got more comfortable with it because obviously I helped his mom, like, order some stuff so I would have stuff for lunches and stuff and snacks and everything. But, like, that's just how it was. And I haven't lived at home since I was a freshman in college, and now I'm a senior. These guys have been out of their house for only a year now. So it's like, when we moved in, they expected things to be a certain way that they did at home, and I'm like, no. You guys can expect a thing a certain way, but we have to figure something new out for the house, because this isn't gonna work. Like, we need to collectively think of something as a house. Because I don't know what your parents' rules were, but that's not how it is here. I'm not following your parents' rules. They're not my parents. You are not my family. I'm not cleaning up after you. I am not doing your dishes. I am not switching your laundry unless something happens and you ask me to. And even then, I usually won't. I'll just be like, I'll just wait. Like, you never have to switch your laundry unless we need to do laundry, in which case I'll ask you if we can switch it because we need to do laundry. But, like, even that, we had issues with, so we made a laundry schedule because we had issues with that. Ooh. Yikes. Even that we had issues with, because somebody would start doing laundry and then Doug and I would be like, we need to do laundry. We haven't been able to do laundry in a freaking week. Because they were like every other day. Like, Joey would do a load, and then John would do a load, and then somebody on Wednesday night, when Doug and I were both busy on Wednesday with school, somebody would start a load and then finish it Thursday, and then they'd keep going back and forth, and we're like, when are we gonna do laundry? You guys don't need to be doing a load every other day when you live in a house full of other people. I think the thing that most frustrates me right now, besides the communication thing, I think that's been getting better. There's not as much tension in the house anymore. But is our fridge space, which isn't even anybody else's fault. It's just like when Doug and I get groceries, it's groceries to fill up a fridge, but we can't use the whole fridge. I think Doug and I have about half the fridge right now. But like, we have enough. Our part of the fridge is always completely stacked to where we can't even fit leftovers if we had them, because we don't have room. We don't have any room in our fridge because we have to share it, and that sucks. Like, it's no fault of anybody's here at the house. But like, I don't know, sharing space is so annoying. Another thing I don't think my housemates realize is that if we're going by what you pay per room here, they pay $400 for their bedrooms. Doug and I collectively pay $800 for our one bedroom. $800 a month for this room right here. Now you can say, oh, but you guys also kind of have the living room. I'm like, no, we don't have the living room. Everybody can use the living room. You guys just don't. Even if we clean it, you guys don't use the living room. That is part of your $400. Your room and the rest of the house. Doug and I pay $800 for this room and the rest of the house. Like, we pay double what they do. That also leads to us needing half the fridge because we are 2 people and us needing 2 days to do laundry instead of 1. I'm just hoping nobody complains that like, oh, but you guys get a whole extra day to do laundry and you guys take up more side of the fridge. And I'm like, yeah, we're not 1 person. We are 2 people. But we pay $800 for this room. Just this room. And I guess the rest of the house. But like, we pay double for the same amount of space as a couple, which is kind of annoying, but whatever everybody thinks is fair. That's wonky. When you think about it, yeah, because it's like, oh, you're living in a house, 4 people, split it 4 ways. That makes sense. But when you think of like the room breakdowns, Doug pays just to exist there pretty much. He sleeps in this room, that's it. Downstairs in the common area of the house is where Doug's office is. Like, like it would make sense. For 4-way rent, there's 4 people living here. That fully makes sense, but if you think of room breakdowns, it's really kind of messed up if you think about it with room breakdowns. Like, something doesn't seem right when you do room breakdowns for cost. And this technically isn't the biggest bedroom. Doug and I were initially going to take the upstairs, but our bed, wasn't gonna fit up there because it's the roof. So, like, there's slanted ceilings all around. There's no, like, it's not a straight roof. So, like, our bed frame wouldn't even fit up there with the walls like that, let alone one of our computers, because like there's no solid place to put anything. So we have this room, which I guess I would say is the biggest of the 2 normal rooms here. But what's really unfortunate about the 2 normal room, ooh, I'm gonna get in trouble. No. But the most struggly part is that, like, I'd still consider us having the smallest room because of how much room we have in our room. We are 2 people living in the same room, so obviously we have a queen bed. The other person that has a room that's ever so technically slightly smaller square footage than ours has a twin bed. And I think they use their closet for everything storage, and then they have a desk in there. Twin bed, desk, decorations. Their closet can hold all of their clothes. We have a queen bed. Our closet barely holds anything because it has the slant from the stairs to the top floor. So, like, our closet barely can hold anything in it. I have my old, like 3-tier plastic dresser in there from college that I keep some clothes in. All of Doug's clothes are in a separate dresser that's against the wall. We have like a foot of space on both sides of our bed. Aw, now I get a speeding violation? Yeah, we have like a foot on each side of our bed. In a yard of space between my desk and the bed. Including my chair space. So my chair is in this this yard of space. And our entrance to the room has my old chair in it that we're kind of using as storage right now. Uh-oh. So, like, we have technically the biggest square footage room. Normal room, but we have the least amount of space in our room. And I'm not gonna lie, girls have more stuff. Girls have way more stuff. I literally have a table with my crafting stuff over here, too. A couple 3-tiered things full of crafting stuff. My Cricut. The table that I run my Cricut on, which I already bought compactable. It's a table that you can fold up, and it goes into a way longer table, but then it folds down. And it's driving like a woman, yeah. Listen, I'm just going, okay? But, like, you guys can see our bed. It takes up most of the room. Like, if I move out of the way over here, that's all the room we have on this side of the bed. And this is more room on this side than we have on the other side. I have so many clothes and candles and everything else a girl needs. Exactly. Like, I don't even use half this stuff right now. Like, I have some candles. I don't like candles in this house because there's no room and I don't want to catch anything on fire. Everybody else, I feel like, has actual space. Doug and I can barely even walk in here when we have freaking our 2 laundry bins in here. We can't even put a laundry... So not only did we get skimped, like, on space in our room because we are 2 people living in this room, but unfortunately the main floor bathroom is much smaller. It's like half the size of the basement bathroom, which is fine. I guess I didn't really want the basement bathroom, but, like, if you look at the size of it, it's so open. There's so much storage there. Like, we can't even keep a freaking laundry basket in our bathroom because there's not space. So we put our clothes on the floor, and then when it's laundry day, we pick them up off the floor. We can't even open our door when we keep our clothes on the floor because there's no space in our bathroom. But a bin would make it worse. A bin would mean we wouldn't be able to open our door, like, at all. Like, us paying $800 a month for this place, as a couple, with the space we have, no. Like, it's just not. And that leads us to, I hope, them not being butthurt when we say, if we do get a condo in January or February, and we say we're only paying rent now, we're not paying electric because we won't be living here, and we're not paying gas because we won't be living here, and we won't be splitting the water bill because we're not living here. I hope that they're like, oh, well, you can't just leave us high and dry like that. And I'm like, we're still paying our rent here. Fortunately, Doug's mom said that we won't really have to pay rent there until we're done paying rent here. Like, they'll cover it because they know that that's a lot of money and not feasible. But when January, February comes around, and if buying a condo goes through, like, They better not get butthurt because they're not gonna have a choice. I'm not paying for electric if we're not using electricity. I'm not gonna pay for water if we're not using water. I'm not gonna pay gas if we're not using gas. And they can do whatever they want with our room. We're still paying rent. Like, that's the biggest cost. We're still paying rent, so... And electric should go way down. Because, again, our computers won't be here anymore. Our bedroom light won't be on. The kitchen won't be on as much because we're not here. Like, living room lights won't be on. Harry's filter won't be on. Harry's light won't be on. Like, we won't be using a lot of electricity. Gas bill, I know it's still probably going to cost about the same to heat up the house. But you guys can move around the house as you please. You can use the main floor to stay cooler if you want to bump the heat up. Like, if you don't want it as cool. Water bill. We won't be using any water because obviously we won't be showering. We won't be doing dishes. We won't be doing laundry. Like, we're not going to pay for that. Can't you sub out your room so you don't have to pay for it? I think technically we could, but I don't think that the other two people in our house would like, one, somebody else living here that they don't know, and two, I don't think there'd be anybody willing to pay $800 a month because that's what they'd have to cover for this one room. Unless it's another couple, but I doubt they want a room with somebody for a few months. And also, I don't know how, like, leasing agreements and everything would go, because obviously Doug and I's names will be on the lease, because we don't own this place. I don't know how that would work with, like, insurance coverage and that kind of thing. I also hope they don't get butthurt when we move out that we're taking all of our stuff. We're taking all of our kitchen stuff. We are taking probably our couch that's in the living room. We are taking the TVs. The TVs are mine. Obviously, everything in our room's gonna go. Try to pack a funeral outfit and I literally don't know what to pack. Oh. I'm sure you'll find something. I think the last funeral that I went to, I wore black dress pants. I think I wore a white shirt, but I had a black cardigan over it. Yeah, but everything that's glass in our house, pretty much, except for some cups, like all glass pans and dishes and bowls, those are all ours, so I'm taking them. Like, I'm not gonna leave them here. Obviously, we're taking our cast iron. I don't think any of the pots or anything are ours, so we're gonna buy a new set of those probably this year at Black Friday shopping. In deals and stuff, that's when we're gonna buy that stuff. But I know there are some utensils that we will be taking, because they're mine. Like our cup, like half cup, quarter cup measuring cups. Those are all mine that we have in the house. I'm taking those. We need them. I paid for them. There's a muffin tin and a square baking tin that are ours that I will be taking as well. Like, I'm not leaving that stuff. Take the couch and living room table too. We are. Couch and the little table in our living room, like our coffee table, that isn't ours, so obviously we're not taking that. We don't want it anyways because it's crusty and old and literally falling apart. Bruh. But, like, TV stand, obviously Harry's table, Everything. Everything that's ours, we're gonna get out of the house. Not in one day. Like, I think, gonna try to gradually move. Maybe we'll do all the big furniture, like, we'll rent a U-Haul one day. But, like, everything else, we're probably gonna be in and out for a week, getting everything else out. But, like, we're not leaving anything of ours. I will be sending multiple group texts to ask, like, if I'm not sure exactly whose it is, I'm gonna be like, hey, whose is this? Because I don't want to leave anything. Like, I'm already gonna have to come back when everybody else moves out to clean, because I don't want our security deposit not given back because they decided not to clean something. So, like, I'm gonna have to come do a full freaking walkthrough. They're gonna forget that I took some paint. The painters of our house, when we moved in, they left the paint outside for days, and I was smart enough to decide to grab a container of it just in case we, like, rip anything off the wall. And it ruins the paint. Like, they're gonna forget to paint scuffs or wash scuffs off the wall. And I know that I'm gonna remember, but I don't want to get stupidly charged for somebody not painting over a scuff that we have. We have the paint for it. So, like, I'm not trying to risk losing our freaking, even parts of our security deposit for something that wasn't our fault. Like, I'm just not doing it. We also have plastic cereal bowls. Obviously, I'm taking all of my mugs. I know that there's coffee mugs. Whoa, look at them horses. I know there's some coffee mugs that I think one of our housemates uses, but those are mine. I'm not gonna leave them here. My sister gave those to me. I'm not just gonna leave them. Especially since I use them. I use them too, so, like, I'm not gonna leave those. Obviously, toasters, ours. Coffee makers, ours. Nobody else really uses those, I don't think. But they are ours. Like, I'm not leaving anything that I don't think that they'd take anything that's not theirs either, but I don't want to leave anything, because they even say, like, our company that we rent from is even like, if you leave any furniture or any trash in the apartment when you move, you will be charged the cleaning fee of, like, $150 or something out of your security deposit. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Yeah, I'm not doing that. So, I'm already gonna have to come back to make sure that the house is actually in good shape to leave. But I don't even know if they're gonna, like, I don't know what their plans are. Maybe they will find somebody else to rent out our room for the next leasing term. Bruh. Like, maybe they will. I don't know. But I know for a fact we aren't living here, so we're done with this place. We've had enough issues with it as it is, let alone us having to live here for another year because we preemptively signed the lease for next year without knowing problems. That's another thing. We literally had to sign our lease for next year. Like, our lease for our next year starts in August. Like, this is the last month of our first year lease. We had to sign renew our lease for this place in, like, October or September. Like, we had just moved in. We lived here for a month or two at most. At most. And we had to decide if we were re-signing our lease or they were going to put it up on the market. And then when we hadn't done it yet, they're like, oh yeah, you guys need to get your re-sign of your lease in because somebody wants to tour your place. And we're just like, bruh, this is exactly what happened when we signed our lease initially. They're like, if you guys need to sign in your lease applications and get your lease turned in because somebody else is touring the place tomorrow morning, and if they apply, And they can get it before you do if you don't get it in. And I'm just like, yeah, you can tell you're a freaking property company, because I'm pretty sure you're just, like, stressing college students out that have never done this before just because you want their money. Like, anywho, I think we're only scheduled for an hour for ATS today. I did get 2 runs in. Also, I apologize if you came in to watch ATS and you're just hearing me rant the whole time. If you're watching this VOD, I apologize. That hopefully you got some satisfaction out of hearing my tea, and watching me drive a truck. I like ATS because this is one of the games that I don't really have to focus on when I do it. I know this leads to chaotic crashes, but I don't know what to do with that. Like, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, that is going to conclude ATS today. If you're watching the VOD, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Catch it live over on twitch.tv/AllyKat3224. If you're interested in HelloFresh, check it out in the description. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.